Welcome to the Asia-Pacific Trading Summit with the support of the Federal Ministry of Food and Agriculture in Germany and the DLG International here at AGRITECHNICA Asia 2022. Today is the topic, find new business partners and get first-hand knowledge about markets. Countries which are the focus today: Thailand, Vietnam, the Philippines, Indonesia, and also Malaysia. My name is Erik Guttulsrud. I'm the head of the Division of Operations Management and Sustainability at the Competence Center at the German Agricultural Society, which is located in Frankfurt in Germany. And I look really forward to accompanying you, dear participants, through this high-quality event here on this stage. These days, the highly exciting agricultural machinery sector is meeting here at the AGRITECHNICA Asia in Bangkok to exchange views on current trends and innovations in agriculture. I'm extremely pleased that as a member of the German Agricultural Society, I'm able to be on stage here today with top-class discussion partners. International cooperation is becoming more and more important for the industry, and today we want to highlight and discuss the needment of the markets in terms of technology and quality and after-sales services. After the opening of the summit, of the representative of the German embassy here in Bangkok and also the president of the Thai Society of Agricultural Engineering in Thailand, we will follow 5 different country reports from Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia. Afterwards, we will discuss with another representative, Martin Ritter from Germany, from the VDMA, to following question in the panel: how can international manufacturers successfully develop a cooperation model or project in the Southeast Asia? As the first speaker for the official opening on our stage, I would like to welcome the Counselor for Food and Agriculture in Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia of the Embassy of the Federal Republic of Germany here in Bangkok, Dr. Bernd Christiansen. Dr. Bernd Christiansen will open the event from a German perspective here on stage at the Asia-Pacific Trading Summit. It's an honor to give you now the podium. The stage is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, Swati Krab, hello. I'm very pleased to be here. It is for me a very special honor to speak to you today at this as a representative of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture in Germany and at this opening of the Asia-Pacific Trading event. I am happy to convey a warm welcome on behalf of my minister, the German Minister of Federal Agriculture, Mr. Cem Özdemir. He unfortunately was not able to come. This is why he asked me to present his best wishes for a successful fair. The German Ministry of Agriculture is one of the co-organizers of this summit and event. The aim of the Asia-Pacific Trading Summit is to promote contacts and cooperation between agricultural machinery manufacturers and dealers in the region. And we couldn't find a better place than the AGRITECHNICA, because the AGRITECHNICA Asia is the biggest fair of agricultural technology in all Southeast Asia. We believe that this is a great opportunity for the agricultural machinery industry, and here also German companies can demonstrate their enormous innovative strength, which certainly will attract a lot of attention. The great response of yesterday's opening event and also the good turnout of today's Asia-Pacific Trade Summit already show the great international appeal that this event has. Ladies and gentlemen, Russia's unprovoked aggression against Ukraine has caused food prices throughout the world to explode. So the supply shortage on the world food market dramatically raised the threat of hunger crisis in various countries. Ladies and gentlemen, agricultural technology must be a part of the response to this, what happened. Agricultural technology is more important than ever in today's world. We need the best agricultural technology to supply sufficient food for all the people in the world. Today's panel discussion will focus on how international manufacturers can successfully develop cooperation models and projects in all Southeast Asia. Let me conclude by wishing you all stimulating discussions, stimulating talks, and interesting encounters. And last but not least, a very successful summit. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for the first interesting introduction to today's event. The challenges are exciting and diverse, and especially worth discussing here today in international context. And with that, I would like to move on to our second interesting opening speaker for this event. Dr. Darius Kitiopas is the president of the Thai Society for Agricultural Engineering and will be the second opening speaker to introduce this event for us from a Thai perspective. I look forward to your remarks and hereby hand over the stage to you and your speech.
Hello, everybody. I would like to welcome you, all participants, to the Asia-Pacific Trading Summit today. I'm proud to be a part of Asia-Pacific Trading Summit and would like to congratulate to the participants that has the chance to present, voice your opinion and cooperate in supporting sustainable agriculture with business and trading. SDG, the Sustainable Development Goal, is a model to improve sustainable agriculture of the whole world. Trade, agriculture, and industry also need security and sustainability, which is why cooperation towards the same direction in the creating security and sustainability is necessary. Moreover, trade, agriculture, and industry are considered supply chain and value chain, which are linked together. Starting from agriculture, which is the important starting point of various products in the world, especially food, disposable products, and material from agricultural residue and waste. Therefore, industry are linked to agricultural need, technology to improve together with agriculture from production technology to harvesting technology, storaging agriculture products and business and trade. As the world is facing a problem with the aging society, new generation moving toward convenience, and consumer require products which are high quality and consistent. Agriculture then need to improve the products the production of agricultural products together with the convenience of farmer. This improvement requires the operation from various sectors such as agriculture, engineers, analysis, agricultural machinery manufacturer, agricultural machinery distributor, businessman, and investor. The Asia Pacific Trading Summit today is very important to countries in the Asia and Pacific region to be able to share information and opinion toward improvement, analyzing pain point and opportunity in the agriculture in various ways in order to cooperate to improve the agriculture sector through industry, trade, and agricultural machinery investment in the showcase of agricultural machinery in AGRITECHNICA Asia 2022. Finally, I would like to congratulate the organizer of this meeting and participants, as I believe this meeting will be highly beneficial to all participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much also to you and for this interesting opening speech from a Thailand point of view. And I'm very pleased to have heard you and also Dr. Bernd Christiansen speak at the event today. Before we go further on, I would like to invite all of the other speakers to the stage for the first official photo of all of the speakers here of the Trading Summit. I would like to invite Mr. Yanapol Limpanachokchai, Dr. Letan Hoa, Mr. Nerio Antonio Cibulo II, Henry Haryanto, and Mr. Ong Ri Sheng on to the stage for the first photo. Of course. And of course, I forget the representative of the VDMA, also Michael Ritter, who is joining to the panel discussion. We will now take a closer look to 5 different country reports on the respective needs of the regions. Beside a short introduction to the agricultural structure, the general focus will be on the general situation with regard to the current challenges and important trends in the agricultural machinery market. Now I would like to move on to our first expert speaker. We would like to start with the first country report for Thailand, and I would like to welcome Mr. Yanapol Limpanachokchai. He is the chairman of the Agricultural Machinery Manufacturers Industry Club and also in the Federation of Thai Industries here in Thailand. I look forward to your comments, and I would like to ask to give a report for the region of Thailand.
Good afternoon. My name is Yanapol Limpanachokchai. I am the chairman of the Agriculture Machinery Manufacturing Group from the Federation of Thai Industry. And I am the chairman of the Thailand South Africa Business Council. Today is the honor to come here to be a speaker and to report about Thailand agriculture machinery. First of all, in the year 2021, our population, Thailand population is around 66.17 million, and population growth rate is 0.26%, and population ratio is, for male is 49%, and female is 51%. What do you think about this one? I think the growth rate is going to be another problem of Thailand, labor in the future, right? And another problem is that Dr. Dalet mentioned already that this year, Thailand is fully aging society. So we think that the agricultural machinery is going to be more important now and in the future. And the new technology that we need from either Europe or US or whatever to be here in Thailand. Our GDP is around 546 billion, and GDP per capita is 7,255. Inflation rate is 0.86. This number is last year, but this year 5% already, 6% already, because of the war. And also the supply chain around the world is the problem now. Thailand, we have the land around 126.7 million acres. And the agriculture area is around 42%, around 54.545 million acres. I want to talk about the 5 major plantations in Thailand. The first one is rice. We have the cultivator area is about 28.091 million acres. And the number of farmers is around 4 million households. Yield per year per acre is 1.133 tons per year. I think it's very, very low. That we need to have the developing either in the way, the style, and the machinery. That's what we need. The total yield per year is 21.86 million tons. Domestic use around 17.09 million tons, when we export around 11.69 million tons. Export value is 3,066 million US dollars. I want to talk about sugarcane also. The cultivate area is 3.668 million acres. Number of farmers is 239 and 88,700 households. Yield per year, per acre per year, 1.83 tons per acre per year. Total yield is around 66.95 million tons. Domestic use is 2.49 million tons. This is converted to sugar already. And for export, last year we export 5 million tons for sugar. And export value is about 1,700 million USD. For cassava, cultivate area is 3.872 million acres. Number of farmers is 486,193 households. Yields per year per acre per year is 8.4 tons. Total yield is 32.5 million tons per year. Domestic use is 3.026 million tons. Export 6.897 million tons. Export value is $2,701 million US dollars. The export product is the cassava chip, pellet, and flour. For corn, cultivated area is 2.723 million acre. Number of farmers is 331,165 households. Yield per year, 1.756 tons per acre per year. Total yield is 4.78 million tons per acre per year. Domestic use is 6.63 million tons, and export only 0.03 million tons per year, and export is only 9 million USD. For corn, in the future, is the plantation, another plantation that we are giving a lot of attention because of the war that Ukraine and Russia, they don't export the wheat, right? So we have a lot of animal feed problem. So the next few years, corn is going to be the really major plantation in Thailand. For rubber, cultivate area is 8.668 million acre. Number of farmers is 1,036,182 households. Yield per year, per acre per year, is only 607 kilo. Total yield is 4.82. Domestic use is 0.623 million tons. Export 3.96 million tons, and the value is around 6,055 million USD. This is all about 5 major plantations from Thailand. This is, I would want to talk about the tractors, number of tractors in Thailand from 2017 to 2021. If you can see, from 2017 to 2018, the growth rate is about 9% in Thailand. From 2018 to 2019 is minus 3%. Everyone knows already it's COVID, right? But if you can see this number, COVID is not quite affect to the agriculture machinery, because for the agriculture, it's a need of everyone already. It's food, animal feed, everything. So I think COVID is not that effect to the machinery. From 2019 to 2020, yeah, it's still in COVID. But from 2020 to 2021, it's increased by 13%. The reason, because of the COVID, definitely. And the labor in tourism industry, they stop. They have no job, nothing at all. So they all move back to their hometown and start doing the agriculture. So the number of the tractor registered in 2021 increased by 13%. And I believe that the growth rate, the development and the growth rate in Thailand for agriculture machinery market is about 10% every year. So I think we need a lot of machinery, agriculture machinery. And overall tractor in Thailand is around 4,500,000 to 500,000 units, new, used, and second-hand import from other countries. This is the tractor market in Thailand. the major company, the major brand that the playing in Thailand is 78% from Kubota. And Yanmar is only 7%. John Deere 3%, New Holland only 2%, and others 10%. Other is from China, India, tractors. Oh, sorry. The total market for agricultural machinery in Thailand is 3,400 million USD, which is tractor 60%, farm machinery 35%, and others 5%. Other is is service and spare parts. We import from other countries also. The first country that the major import is China, Japan, and India. The value import is 1,494 million USD, and the value for export is 1,462 million USD, which every year the percentage growing is around 5 to 10% every year that we export. So I think if the foreigner from European and we can join together for the machinery, because Thailand is the center of the mainland of the ASEAN, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, and Myanmar. So I think, and also if you come here to Thailand, you can use the privilege of the ASEAN for the machinery. That is like FTA. I think for the machinery in the future, we need to be more, we're talking about precision a lot. We're talking about precision, and also we're talking about the yield per year that we are very concerned. And our group, we're working very close to the government. And if we go in the future, I think Thailand is going to be more player on the machinery. Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Limpanachokchai, and also for the interesting graphics to the tractor development and so on. After we have dealt with the country insights of Thailand, I would like to turn the focus to the country of Vietnam. And the second expert will now be Dr. Le Tan Hoa. He's a Deputy Director General and Agro-Processing and Market Development Authority from the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development in Vietnam. Thank you for being with us today, and we look forward to hearing what you have to say about the challenges in Vietnam. Dr. Le Tan Hoa, the stage is yours.
So good afternoon. Yeah, just let me standing for. So good afternoon. It's a privilege for me to present here today. I would like to thank AGRITECH to invite me to involve in this summit. It's different with the previous presentations. We just want to tell you a story about the development of agriculture in Vietnam, how it's grown during last 30 years from a country that we probably not enough food for the people, and with a training policy and with a lot of support from foreign country, and also in terms of support of technical, since U.S. lifted the embargo in 1995. So agriculture in Vietnam has contributed great to the Vietnam economy since last 30 years. And you know that nowadays the agricultural sector in Vietnam is not provide the livelihoods, the work for the farmer, but also we provide a lot of fruit, a lot of product to the world, and it's a very, very important, because like Thailand, Vietnam is also agricultural export country, and we should think about that in the future during the war between Ukraine and Russia. And you know that even it contributes a small portion in the GDP of Vietnam, but the agricultural sector took very important role. As you may know that in Asia, we have a true economic crisis in 1998 and 2008, when a lot of investors withdraw the capital from Thailand, for example, from Thailand, from Indonesia, when at the time the foreign investment took very important role in investment. So Vietnam was not affected much by that two way of economic crisis. The problem is that because we start to change our system, to try to reserve the how we call that, the basic instinct for the farmer, for the people. So that's why nowadays we're still thinking the agricultural sector is as the main point. It stands for the Vietnam economics even now and even for the future. So we have different climates, different regions, and rice is mainly produced in the southern, in Mekong Delta, and in northern we have a high mountainous area. And this will be challenges for a lot of work in the future, because you know that when you apply machine in the mountain, when degree is about 50 degrees of the land, so it will be very difficult. So how can work together and improve that situation? Because nowadays, most of the rice field, we use all the machine already, from the land preparation and harvesting and so on. And this is some main crop that we preview in Vietnam, which already have a high tech, but in fact you know that as I get, it's just under 50% of all the crop production was used with machine, but mainly still on the state of land preparation for harvesting, and we still have the intensive labor, and it's costly for the product. You know that last year we reached the highest export of agricultural product is nearly 49 billion US dollars. And we have about 9 products. Yeah, yes, nice products. That's the main export from Vietnam. We have wood and wood product, feed and fishery, rice, cashew nuts, fat fruit and vegetable. Also like Thailand, we have cassava and cassava product. The other things that we have dominant in the market is that coffee and pepper, and also tea. So that we have, as I have mentioned, we have 9 products with an export turnover every year is more than 1 billion US dollars. And our product has present in 185 different country and territory. So it's some our main products, the capacity of production, and what you can work in the future to process it and use for export. You know that fresh fruit and vegetable like Thailand and other countries now is very important sector. Because you know that for Vietnam, last 4 years, the first time when the export of fresh fruit and vegetable, it exceeds the value of export of crude oil. So more than 3 billion already. So even when we have a very much effect by the pandemic, but it's still nearly reached 4 billion last year. So we have a large area of production for fresh fruit and vegetable, like rubber. We also one of the biggest countries in Asia, besides Malaysia and Thailand, to export rubber to the world. And my previous minister has promised that when our area of rubber plantation reach about 1 million hectares. We enjoy the so-called three-party rubber to export to the world, and so we have pepper, even it's little, but we're still dominant in the world for export that to Europe and India. So there are the product like coffee and tea. That coffee in Vietnam is mainly Robusta, but we also change part to other have a higher value like Arabica. So besides that, we have a very important sector is livestock. That this is the potential sector for Vietnam to export to the world in the future, because nowadays the people more invest in the production of the feed for aquatic or for terrestrial animal, but that we can't export because Vietnam and Thailand, some country will have some animal disease. It's limited that, so that when we have enough capacity to control the disease, and we build up earlier we call biological safety farm or something like that, so we can export by negotiating. So this is from that sector, forestry, and we have a large number of forests also, and mainly now is reforestation, and we use that for different purpose. And we import a lot of wood from other countries also, from Malaysia, and even from Africa and Australia, US, Russia also, to produce the wood product to export. And fishery is one of the sectors is very famous from Vietnam, because since 1990 we support from Danida project from Denmark government. We start to set up the HACCP system for all the factories which want to export the feed and fishery product to the world, and it's really successful. And nowadays we can export to all the markets, like US, Japan, South Korea, and EU. EU is more difficulties in market because the requirement on food safety is very high compared to other countries. So just a briefing on the production, and you may know that and I has mentioned that the use of machinery in the production is still very low compared to other countries. So we try to improve it in the future, and government has enacted a lot of legal document to manage it in the future. And that this is some production areas that we can apply, and I do some comparison with the trade between Thailand and Vietnam, but you can look at my presentation later for reference. Yeah, I will go in details. When you invest in Vietnam, so we have some legal documents that can support you. Besides that, different provinces, they also have some promotion for your company when you want to invest their joint venture to make a machine or something like that. So a lot of things that can probably outside of that the legal document from government, because every province they will have its own policy also. So by the way, I would like to close my presentation here, but before I would like to say that that in Vietnam now there is a great opportunity for investment. It's not only in production of machine, but also in crop processing for all, even rice. Because that since when we joined WTO, we have opened the market for rice, and now even the foreign company, you can invest a factory and processing rice and export rice from Vietnam to the world. So, by the way, I would like to thank for your listening.
Yeah, thank you very much for the fascinating facts about the requirement and the politics in Vietnam. Also to show how big is diversity in the agricultural production is awesome. And, but we can see in most of the topics we have to discuss today with the international context after that. And of course, our speakers with the country reports will also be available for further explanations in the panel discussion. And after that, we have also a networking area in the rear of this hall to get in contact with all of the speakers. Then I would like to move on to the third speaker for today. And now that follow up the approaches from Thailand and Vietnam, I would like to draw the attention to the Philippines perspective. For this purpose, the Vice President for Internal Affairs of Agricultural Machinery and Distributors Association of the Philippines, Mr. Nerio Antonio Cibulo II, will give an insight into the smart farming in terms of the needs of the Philippines. I look forward to your contribution to our forum today. Mr. Cibulo, you have our full attention. The podium is yours.
Hi, welcome to the Philippines. I'm here to share with you some insights and details about mechanization and details of a level of mechanization. And before I proceed, let me introduce the group I represent. As mentioned, AMDA, the Agricultural Machinery Manufacturers and Distributors Association, which was organized in 1964 with 32 active members comprised of the importers, distributors, retailers, and local manufacturers. Our objective to promote farm mechanization and adoption of modern field practices in the country. Contributions, we do work well together with the Department of Agriculture in a policy direction, creating standards, national standards, so we work with them. At a glance, the Philippines is composed of 7,107 islands, that's low tide, with land area of 300,000 square kilometers. We are 109 million in 2020, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority, with GDP of 5.6%. That was good because in 2020 we were all, I guess, neighboring countries were below 1. And exchange rates now is between 52.4 to 0.55, thereabout. And we speak Filipino, of course, and English widely. Good to invest in the Philippines. Okay, very few figures about landscape. Our commodity is divided into 4 groups based on the PSA, Philippine Statistics Authority. Mainly cereals, which is composed of palay and corn, fruit crops, banana, we export banana, mango also, pineapple, yes, and non-food and industrial crops like the avocado, the cacao, coconut, etc. And some other crops, which I would not mention. Vegetable and root crops as well. The area planted, or the area that are productive with, we are more on, the area planted is more on vegetable and root crops, which has 47%, and cereals is 27% only, with fruit crops at 21%, and the non-industrial 5%. Very interesting to note, sugarcane is part of the 5%. It's very important in our market, where we use tractors. And just selected some major crops, like for example, these major crops are the important crops that where we use commonly use equipment, agricultural equipment. Per my own perspective, because cassava we use tractors, banana although pulling only, sugarcane heavy on big tractors, coconut it's big in the Philippines, but this year, the government is coming in with, government is coming with funds for mechanization under the coconut, We have, of course, the corn and rice, which are our staple food. We eat a lot of rice, and we have a good production, but we also a net importer of both the rice and the corn. Okay. There was a vision to mechanize. I got across of this data collection survey conducted by by JICA, the Japan International Cooperation Agency, together with the Department of Agriculture. An excerpt from this survey, it says here that there will be, in 2018, there will be future demands for combined harvesters, tractors, small tractors, and post-harvest facilities. True enough, 5 years ago, Japanese equipment, Japanese tractors and harvesters flooded the Philippines. We purchased a lot. Okay, the government, I mean, and some other individual investors. That was good. Then, I just would like to emphasize investments in the Philippines. The Korean group, more than 10 years ago, about 12 years ago, they came in, a group called Fit Korea, or the Cameco, came into Philippines and introduced agricultural implements for various productions. As a group, take note, as a group, many individual companies came into the Philippines to introduce their own company, their own brand. But this one, just like the Japanese, introduced their equipment as a group through various implements, including other farm equipment like the level maker. The most common are the rotary tillers, maybe just similar to our neighboring countries. This plow, trailing harrows. But this guy, it's moving. This group introduced several other applications in the country. And just recently, as we opened yesterday, this happened yesterday as well in the Philippines. They had a groundbreaking of the groundbreaking ceremony of the Agricultural Machinery Design Prototyping Center. As I am trying to mention, they do not want to just sell the product in the Philippines. They are investing for joint ventures. They would like to teach us, to help us, to support us, put a manufacturing investment in the country with their assistance, with their investment. And last year, this year, the country is also buying equipment from Korea. And I think this one is the most important here, the level of mechanization. Philippines had only 1.3 horsepower per hectare in 2011. That's really low compared with our friends here. Thailand has 4.2. Well, I do not want to mention Korea and Japan because they're way high. Okay. What I'm trying to, let's just mention some challenges. Just like Thailand and aging farmers. So people are getting old, and the sons, the daughters do not want to work in the farm. So we have to mechanize. They need to mechanize. Small land holdings in the Philippines, I think it's also the same in some of us. Financing, mostly imported, as I was trying to say, and data gathering. But now we have the government has imposed certain rules on data gathering. We have to report our sales. And opportunities, we have a lot of opportunities in the country, especially with this RA10601 AFMEC law, where we need to do some mechanizations. My slides want to say thank you. But what I really trying to drive at, the Japanese came in the Philippines, the Koreans, the Chinese, even the Chinese. They introduced their products, their markets, their technology. Who would be next? Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, India, a country from Germany, from Europe, perhaps Germany. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the emotional and exciting insights from the perspective of the Philippines. And it's great to be able to follow so many different point of views today, and I'm happy that so many speakers are here and we can discuss in the panel discussion further on. The next region is the country of Indonesia with diverse agricultural structure and the current challenges for the agricultural machinery industry. For this, I would like to announce Mr. Henry Haryanto as the Vice President of Association of Indonesian Agricultural Machinery in Indonesia here at this event. I look forward to your comments, and the stage now is yours.
Sawadee, everybody. How's the energy for this room today? I need everybody to be relaxed and focused. Thank you. Okay. My name is Henry Haryanto, and I'm from the Association of Indonesian Agricultural Machinery. We have currently 54 members, and we start from 1976. This is my email and my contact numbers. Okay. What are the top 5 main crops in Indonesia? Number 1, of course, is rice. In Indonesia, if you don't eat rice, that means we haven't eaten anything. And some of you know that our most famous dish is called nasi goreng. So it's a typical breakfast for all Indonesian. So they'll fry the rice, includes chicken and prawn, tomatoes, and fried eggs. So we feel the hunger here. Okay. The next crop, which is, okay, the next one is corn. Okay, besides eating it raw, we fry it. Usually we add some rice and create the best combination of rice and corn. It's called nasi jagung or corn rice. So the corn rice can be a great alternative to save more rice, especially at the end of the month. Corn can be made into popcorn snacks or the other foods that you want. Okay, the next one is called sago. Sago is basically can be commonly found in the area of Papua. And usually people hunt for the sago tree and then start to use to be the main composition for the meal. It's like a rice, but it is a bit sticky at the hand, can be eaten with a stick or maybe some chopstick. And usually people in Papua eat sago. And the next one is cassava. So the people in the village like to plant this kind of crops in their own garden, so it's very easy to plant it. And they can eat it with rice as well. They can bake them, fried cassava, which is basically everyone's favorite. As you can see, it's afternoon snacks with tea. Okay, the next crop is potato. Indonesia has also a huge supply of potato. That's why we can find many foreign snacks invest in Indonesia to make these famous snacks. And it can be found in everyday convenience stores. So beside potato, usually we use a dish called sayur kentang, which is the main ingredients of potatoes. And also we can make French fries and with some great sauce. Okay, what are the key findings in Indonesia nowadays? So the government plan to boost national production of local agricultural machinery and has prepared a budget of worth USD 538 million for machinery development in Indonesia. So as we can see, the mechanization rate for the land preparation is higher in Indonesia, and it forecasted to get mechanized further. Mechanization is also anticipated to increase the welfare of farms, households, and to create employment opportunities in the rural areas. Java Island, which is our main island, continue to be the great area with the highest demand of sales of hand tractors in the country, along with the forecasted revenue of compound annual growth rate of 5% during the year of 2020 until 2025. The penetration of combined harvesters is slowly increasing in cities other than Java and Sulawesi, as the product segment is expected to replace the rice transplanters in the future. Okay. Also, the Indonesian farmers are likely to increase the usage of this plow on the farm over long term. Working capacity of less than 40 horsepower tractors with a single plow is gaining traction for both dry and wet fields. So, agricultural sectors currently accounts for 40% of the nation's GDP in accordance with the Indonesia Statistics Department. So the proportion is anticipated to increase in future, leading to the higher demand for both two-wheels and four-wheel tractors. Okay. Recently, our President Jokowi announced the expansion of the food estate program on September 23rd, 2020, as part of measures to secure domestic food supplies and Indonesia's reliance on imported food crops. Among the region expected to become the center are the province of North Sumatra and South Sumatra in the country, and West and East Nusa Tenggara and Papua in the east. Okay, this is the recent visit by our President Jokowi to Papua Food Estate on the 4th of October 2021. So it shows that our President put a great importance on the food estate in Indonesia, and even that he asked the Ministry of Defense to be in charge of this project. This is some of the video that even the President himself go down to the field. Okay, this is the 5 areas for the Indonesia Food Estate Project, which in Borneo, Papua, and Maluku. And this is the area that they contribute to the food estate project. Okay, this is the central Borneo. So the government has identified 165,000 hectares of potential farmland in the district of Pulang Pisau and Kapuas. And the construction has already begun on September 28, 2020, with the cost of infrastructure alone is estimated at USD 454 million US dollars. Okay, what are the type of equipments needed in our project? The first one, of course, is 2-wheels and 4-wheel tractors with a horsepower of less than 40 horsepower and above 70 horsepower. Can we go back to the slides? Okay, the next one, of course, we can see beside tractors, we also need some combine harvesters, then hand sprayers, and power sprayers and transplanters. This is my presentation from Indonesia. If there's any more questions about it later, we can discuss at the corner right at the end. So thank you very much for listening. Kapun kap.
And thank you very much for the interesting presentation to show how big is the diversity in your country. And also, it's very interesting to see how good is the kitchen in your country with the pictures. I have to join it after this meeting, perhaps. And the country reports now will conclude with an insight to the challenges of Malaysia, which is complete the range of topics in today's event and broaden the spectrum of information once again. I would like to ask the following expert to take the stage. It's Mr. Ong-Ri Sheng, and he's the General Director of the EPMA industry in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, and will now introduce us to the Malaysia region and conclude the country reports for today with interesting views. The stage is yours.
A very good afternoon to all, and thanks DLG for inviting us for this presentation. Yeah, our background is very different from those speakers that made their presentation before. We are actually machine manufacturer from Malaysia, specialized in the rice milling industries. Yeah, so about this, we have been operating for 37 years, and we are a leading post-harvest grain processing equipment manufacturers in Malaysia, based in Jitra, Kedah, just border to Thailand. So we have a workforce of around 140 people, and our existing factory production area in use is 165,000 meters square, and we have 210 meters square more for future expansions. So we welcome anyone that would like to JV with us or talking about future cooperation with us. Yeah. So this is all our factories and buildings that we used to. And this is all our equipments. Malaysian government did also focus a lot in helping the industry such as us, machine manufacturer, to manufacture and do more R&D regarding our agriculture machineries. In our case, it's a post-harvest machineries. And they have been helping us by giving us some grants and also how to use the state-of-the-art equipment to bring up our qualities, machine qualities. And this is the facilities that we have now. Yeah, and also, yeah, again, it's all the facilities, and also we are also a pressure vessel manufacturer in Malaysia. Okay. This is our projects that we did. We did a lot in rice mills and also rice processings. Some samples of what we did. Okay. This is based in Selangor, near to Kuala Lumpur, where this plant is also supported by the government for agri-tourism. So if you went to Sekinchan, Selangor, you will probably visit their plant. This is also another view of their plants, and all the machineries that are equipped in this plant is made in Malaysia and designed in Malaysia. And also, talking about plants automations, we also develop our own robotic palletizers for palletizing rice and also other products. And this plant is in Kuala Lumpur, where you can see they use very little human power to operate now. And the robots that we are using are Germans, KUKA. And these are some of the projects that we have realized. At the down there is cartoning palletizers, and also they can switch its arm and effectors and picking back at the same time automatically. The project was done in Singapore. And this is a few projects. If our country help us in developing, doing our R&Ds, then we can cross other fields, such as at the first plant there is actually mineral fields, where they use the robots to stack grounded limestones. The second one was delivered to Jurong Islands, where they are picking oleochemicals and so on. And also, we did our R&Ds in biomass biomass boilers, where all the heat was collected from burning the rice husk and reused back in the paddy drying process. Okay, this is what we did in our factories. And also the items that I will go through is as listed. Okay, so this is actually a statistics that we get from the Department of Statistics Malaysia under the Prime Minister Department. So as you can see, the most commodity that we produce is oil palm. It consists of around 37.1% among all other agriculture produced. So for the second one is livestock. The third one, fishing. The fourth one, forestry, which is getting less because what we have, the forest in Malaysia is getting less also. Rubber is reducing. We only have 2.5% now compared to last time. As you can see at the percentage change there, only livestock and increase, other agriculture produce that includes a lot, like peppers, sagu, etc. Okay. Peppers are mainly planted in Sarawak, Borneo, which is located on Borneo Island. So basically, our agriculture produce are declining yearly. Okay, as you can see, this is a total produce that we produce. Talking about our staple food, paddy, we only produce 2.35 million tons per year, which is around 70% self-sufficient. We also still importing 30% of rice from other countries. While for the palm oil is the main one. We have around 100 million tons we produce annually. And this is the main field where we can explore. The rest is like for the pigs is around 1.8. Yeah. And for others, as you can see here, is not really that much. Yeah. Okay. So the trade balance is a surplus, 20,630. Okay. And for the workers in Malaysia, we don't really have the gender discrimination, as you can see here. Both men and women are paid fairly well, fairly equal. And the mean for male and female are only difference by a bit. The median only different by 80 ringgit, while the mean talking about 100 something ringgit. Yeah. Okay. Okay, basically for the food, so the increment is around 1.3% for the year 2021. And this is a NAFP for 2010 until 2020 for rice only. For the NAP 2.0, which starts from 2021 until 2030, the main focus is on how to develop the agriculture and using modern technologies such as drones, vertical farmings, etc. Okay, for the farming machineries market in Malaysia, I myself interview senior managers in the Sime Kubota company, and this is what the information that I have. Most of the new farming machineries sold in Malaysia are tractors. Okay. Tractors are mainly used in palm oil estates in Malaysia, where the area is estimated to 6 to 7 million hectares, while for rice planting it's just around 300,000 hectares. And you can see the harvest period. Palm oil, you need to harvest twice a month, while for paddy, you only need to harvest twice a year in Malaysia. Okay. In other industry and also other agriculture sectors such as rubber, fruits, orchards, etc., this is very little comparatively. And they told me that they capture more than half of the Malaysian market, and the total yearly sales for their tractors for Malaysia is around 1,000 units. So for the whole country, it's around 1,500 to 2,000, depends on the condition. Okay. So Kubota is from Japan. So more than 50% of the market shares is held by Japanese. And the rest, mainly for Kubotas are used in mainly big plantations and estates. And for the small plantation, normally they will use Chinese machine because of the price is very low. And also in Malaysia, if you want to get foremen to repair the machine, it's not very hard. You can easily get someone to repair it. Okay, other machines sold in Malaysia. He also told me that transplanter, we only need around 100 to 200 units. And due to the design, actually transplanter is a very special case. They will buy the machine, a new machine, and they will modify that Malaysia to suit the soft soil condition, and then they only use it. So 80% from the transplanter come from China, and 40% come from Kubota. And harvester, this one I think is less than 50 units per year. The reason why, they're Malaysian buying second-hand combined harvester, such as New Holland brands, and they modified it locally to suit the soil condition there. All the tracks have to be removed and change it into a caterpillar style so that it won't sink in the paddy field. Okay, and current trends in Malaysia, the things that we face in Malaysia, farming area are getting smaller. Urbanization is happening. And vertical and hydroponics already applied in some areas, such as high-value agricultural produce, and also those farms that near to big cities, such as Kuala Lumpur. Okay, and third one is the wide use of drones for pesticides and herbicides application. Overall, by using drones for applying pesticides and herbicides, most of the feedback are good, and they save a lot on the chemicals that they use. Okay, another one is maybe a smaller machine, a more advanced machine, and cheaper machines may be suitable for Malaysian markets. Okay, and this one is government grants and loans, where you can easily get grants and loans by going through the websites of Agrobank, which is under Department of Agriculture, Malaysia. Okay, as why for foreign manufacturers that plan to enter Malaysia, I think it's the same throughout. The most important is find a reliable local dealer to settle the after-sales service for you and also find new sales for you. Okay. That's all for my presentation this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the great overview about your needs. At the moment, the team will change the stage for our panel discussion. Everybody is invited to get a new coffee from the backside, and we will start in a few minutes with the panel discussion here on the stage. So that we can explore further opportunities and possibilities together in a panel discussion. That's why I'm asking Mr. Yanapur Limpana-Chokchai, Dr. Lee Tan-Hwa, Mr. Nerio Antonio Sibulu, Henry Arianto, Ongri Shang, and also Michael Ritter to the stage here at the Asia Pacific Trading Summit. Thank you very much for being here on this stage. I see Mr. Henry Arianto is also arriving back to us that we can start. As addition to this panel, I would like to invite another co-discutant here in this group. It's Mr. Michael Ritter. He is the chairman of the VDMA. That is the largest network organization in the European mechanical engineering, and there in the Agricultural Machinery Working Group of Asia Pacific, and the Senior Vice President in the Class Global Sales GmbH. I'm very pleased that it is an honor for us that you joined to this panel and discuss about the new perspectives. As a reminder for everybody, the topic of the panel discussion is how can international manufacturers successfully develop cooperation models and projects in Southeast Asia? And I would like to ask the participants to focus on the following main points to give an enter into the discussion to joint ventures, also to sales partners or technical cooperation projects. And discussion is open. If anybody has an idea, feel free to answer to the question. And at first, perhaps I want to introduce with the first question to Michael Ritter. You are the responsible for the Southeast Asian region, and you have been able to follow the country reports to the other speakers closely. What approaches have you already been able to follow here in the region, and what challenges do you see from the perspective of a European company in the Southeast Asian region?
First of all, thank you for being here, and hello to everybody. I think the main takeaway for me was, and maybe for the audience, that we have totally different requirements, not only between the countries, but also within one country. Yeah? And this, of course, makes it always difficult to adapt the machinery which is needed in this country. Yeah? And if we have the topic how to work in this in our countries here, the question is always what the farmers need, what are the requirements, and we should really look to this. Yeah? So from a European perspective, it is for sure that of course rice production is very, very important everywhere. Yeah, but I think this market is already very saturated. Yeah, we have lots of players, very good players. Yeah, Japanese, Chinese, also local players. And from a point of view of European companies, we could help in upcoming technologies. Yeah, so like bioenergy, for example. Yeah, we could help especially with big farms. Also, when we have, I think I have to talk about the structures. Some of you mentioned already the structure of the agriculture in Southeast Asia. And one upcoming topic is protein production. Yeah, protein production. not only feeding the animals, where you need, of course, much more corn, silage and everything, but I would also, from European point of view, focus on milk production, for example. Yeah, the first when I arrived last year to Bangkok, and I'm living here, yeah, I firstly was shocked about the milk and the milk product prices. Yeah, so and you see that lots is imported, and lots are even coming from New Zealand. Yeah, so far away, and I think all countries in Southeast Asia have a good chance to come up in more strengths in this area.
Yeah, thank you very much. Question, are there at the moment existing technical cooperation projects from you and your company, or what possibilities can you offer for the regions here?
Yeah, of course, there are lots of companies working here. You see the global brands are all there. Yeah, John Deere, CNH, Kubota's everywhere. Also Classware here. When I talk a little bit about Class, not only from the agricultural machinery association perspective, we in Thailand here focusing very much on getting out the sugarcane trash from the fields. Yeah. To prevent air pollution and sugarcane trash burning, yeah, which is a topic not only in Thailand but also in the neighboring countries, yeah, and this would help everybody, yeah. Of course, there you see big projects, for example, in Vietnam, where we see strong players in milk production, yeah, like TH Milk, Vienna Milk, and of course they are in cooperation with especially also Western producers, because they have bigger fields, yeah, and using world technologies, yeah, to produce. So there are lots of corporations already going on, but of course to make it more intensive, yeah, then we should focus really on the areas which I mentioned before: protein production, milk production, bioenergy, and especially in the corporate farms, yeah? Because the smaller farms we cannot help, and we need somehow a structural change in agriculture, yeah, landholding or farming, yeah, I would say.
Yeah, thank you very much. And talking also about the country of Vietnam, and perhaps the next question to Dr. Le Tan Hoa. Vietnam has traditionally practiced and intensified a wide range of contacts in the past, especially in the former democratic German Republic. And how do you assess the connection with Germany, and what could further development for the relationship?
I think for quite a long time between Vietnam and Federal Republic of Germany, I think we have a very, very long and strong cooperation since democratic Germany, and so we still remain. That's the relationship, and Germany have a lot of support in terms of technical infrastructure for agricultural development in Vietnam, especially for forestry sector. So Germany have a lot of projects to support this sector in Vietnam in order to sustainable the forests in Vietnam, as well as the agricultural production in Vietnam. Besides that, the government of Germany also have a lot of technical assistance for Vietnam in terms of training and higher education. And I was happy to have 2 scholarships from the AID, the German Academic Exchange, for my master in 1995 to 1997, and for my doctoral in 2002 to 2006. So when I'm back home, you know that they still keep contact and ask for any support when I have difficulties at the office. Is there you're lacking some equipment or something like that? So they still keep continue. And the net contact of this program was very sufficient for all the students and postgraduate students when you go back home and work for the government. And I think that's a good policy of the German government to have the developing country like Vietnam to develop the economic in the future, as well as well as the in terms of knowledge and the experiences that we gain from the developed country like Germany. And you know that I have a lot of experience from Germany in terms of research, doing research, and how to work together and to use the advanced technology. And because I also have a chance to work at the German Biological Research Center in Braunschweig, and also Federal Lands Anstalt für Landwirtschaft in Braunschweig. So I was gained a lot of experience during that training. And I think nowadays Germans still have a program to support all Asian countries, especially in terms of education and training. And I do hope in the future, with the new technology in terms of technical applicants, especially to use the machine as in agriculture, I think Germany can further support the Asian country to improve the productivity, and also to, especially in terms of the green agriculture, and of course the sustainable agriculture, because Germany is a leading country in this field. And I do hope that we, with the new Asia AgriTech, we will held in Cần from 24 to 26 August. We can exchange more experience and gain more advanced technology from Germany. So, by the way, I would like to thank for that.
Yeah, thank you very much. And perhaps I want to play the ball at the moment to Tony, because you can go further on the explanations. Due to your diverse agricultural structure of the Philippines, you have special challenges, of course, for cooperation and services. Perhaps other challenges than Vietnam perhaps have. Especially transport themes or these topics. What do you see as the greatest opportunity for the cooperation? It's joint ventures? Is it sales partnerships? Or do you think perhaps we just think in technical cooperation projects?
Yeah, we are very diverse, as we have more than 7,000 islands, and one of our biggest challenges is how to transport. You know, it is more expensive to transport our equipment from Manila to other points in the Philippines than to Thailand or anywhere in Asia. Even maybe double than the sea freight cost. So that's one. And how do we do the cooperation? Say, for example, in Europe, you have big area, huge equipment. To cooperate with the Philippines, you have to do Asianization. Asianization, we have to adapt what we are doing in Asia, in the Philippines, for example. In the Philippines, for example, comparing with your farm area, we are maybe a tenth of a size, very small. So what I mean with Asianization is try to provide compact equipment that will adapt in the agricultural environment in the Philippines. Other than that, the technical cooperation is very important. Also, the transfer of technology, use of other equipment, agricultural equipment. We have been used to a very common implements like plow, rotary tiller, harrow, and we need to maximize our tractor. It's a multi-purpose tractor, right? So we need other applications like for cleaning, for moving out the ditches, for leveling the land. We need those equipment as well. And I think there is now going on improvement or changes in the country by adapting to those other agricultural equipment. And now we are going into the direction of looking into the production or manufacturing of post-harvest facilities, rice mill, the dryers. There are local manufacturers in the country. We do not import I mean, we do not export. We do not yet export, and we would like to also come to that stage wherein we can compete with my friends here in Asia, where we can also send our equipment outside the country, and that's a direction from our Department of Agriculture.
Perhaps we can give the question now to Henry Haryanto, because the structure is nearly the same, a lot of islands, and how do you assess the cooperation with Europe in the yield of agricultural technology so far? What can be optimized, and where can they give a little bit more support? Do you have an idea or perspective?
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. If you want to see ASEAN as a whole, we have 661 million people in this region, from Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, and even the rest of the ASEAN. One thing you must remember is that we have a different rain, different temperature, different type of crops. So how can the European manufacturers came into this region and establish a good network with us? How are we able to compete with the other Asian manufacturers that enter our market earlier on? They have established a very strong connection from the beginning, even financing some of the countries here, as well as establishing some service center. So it's not just about to sell the products, but how to have a local partners that we can contribute and build the product from small parts and then bigger machineries. Of course, we have to compete in terms of price as well, and quality as well. And we believe the European manufacturer, they bring a very good engineering. We must, of course, have a transfer of know-how and technical terms for all of us. This is the input that I can put for this forum. If anybody else can later add on, please go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Perhaps before we go to Mr. Janopol and also to Malaysia, the question back to the European perspective. There was the question how they can get a better contact or a better support. Are there existing projects, or is there something in planning? Perhaps you can give a short overview.
Yeah, I mean, this is clear, and I totally agree on you. Selling is one, yeah, but doing the service afterwards is the more important point and the most difficult part. Yeah, especially when you think about several thousand islands, yeah, and you have a product, and how to get a technician over there, yeah, and this is what the European producers are facing, yeah. So firstly, adapting the product, yeah, and then finding somebody and finding partners, and we are talking here about partnerships also. Yeah, it's of course at the beginning important to understand the market needs, finding a local partner, and before you really invest, of course, you try to make the business before selling and being able to service. So it's very important to make lots of education to service people, yeah, and to train them, yeah, and to get them over there, yeah. So sometimes you have partners, and all European manufacturers are discussing this actually between each other, yeah, because the local partner then says, okay, it's nice to sell your product, but I don't want to send my service guy over there. It's too far, yeah. And with the European approach, you don't do it, because in Europe is everything like 30 kilometers away, yeah. Before Asia, I was working in Russia, so I'm used to the long distances, yeah. So and the local partner might tell you, yeah, I would like to repair this, but you pay me traveling there, yeah, because in Europe the European producers are used to charge for a guarantee case, for example, yeah. So only the repair time, so they may not pay the traveling time, but traveling time is here hours. Yeah, and plane or ship ticket. So this is the biggest issue, and I think, and this is what we discuss also in the working group, is that European producers have to gather together and find common partners. Yeah, so not competing brands, but at least brands which add to each other, and to support this, that the local partner has enough business to do with the European companies, and to maintain the service.
Yeah, we see the challenges are big, but it's a good start to talk about and find perhaps new solutions. Perhaps the question to Mr. Janapol Limpana-Chokchai. In addition to the agriculture, we also talked about the forestry needs in the region. Forestry also plays an important role, especially also in Thailand, and also the others had discussed it in their presentations. Are there any points of contact here, or in the future, is there something in planning?
For the forestry, that is going to be a big major plantation in Thailand that I mentioned yesterday about carbon credit and net zero. Because of the trade barrier between our country and Europe, that they are going to tax us depending on the carbon that you use. So the forestry is going to be another major about Thailand. Because if you grow the forestry, you can turn that into carbon credit for the manufacturer to buy to replace the tax in the future. So I think the forestry, the equipment for forestry is going to be a big major role in Thailand also. Even the people who have a free land, like a normal land, they are trying to grow in the tree right now. But to contract, you mean the person to contact or what?
It could be the present contact, or perhaps the idea could be in the future contact.
We have a really good one person here and sitting here, and she is Mr. Dale, Dr. Dale is here because she is a consultant of the Ministry of Agriculture. So if you need to contact, I think she's the one.
Thank you very much. The question to Mr. Ongri Sheng. Now you have heard a lot of challenges, a lot of sectors from agriculture, from transport, also from service or something else. From the view of Malaysia, in my opinion, Malaysia is quite central also to the markets of Thailand, to the markets also Singapore, and also to Indonesia. Do you have the same issues, or do you think, okay, there are other points or other opportunities we have to discuss?
Thank you for the questions. For me, Malaysia, our society are more, how to say, the infrastructure is there, and also those that coming out from the universities are a lot. So basically, you can get professionals there easily. So maybe Malaysia can be act as a development center or manufacturing center for the European machines, because what I see in the market is European machine is good. However, the pricing is a bit high, and also we're talking about the after-sale service in the ASEAN. When we are working, they are resting in Europe, so the time difference is giving a lot of problems. So if there is a technology transfer, or European partners is able to train locals, Asians people, then it will be more easier for them to sell and also do the after-sale service. Just like what a lot of machine manufacturers, big machine manufacturers did in Malaysia. I think that's a good way and a win-win situation for both.
I want to support all of our members here because of the manufacturing. Like everyone have the same problem. You see that on my country report, Kubota is 28% market leader, right? And I think, let's say that Thailand, we start from Japanese products. We not start from the European products about 40, 50 years ago. the students study from the Kubota engine. So we know a lot of Japanese engine. So we start from that. But if European want to come here, and we think that we need more technology on the European, because we want to increasing our yield with less, how can I say, utilize machinery, right? So I think that if you want to come to Thailand or come to our countries, you need to come, and you need to join with the local maker, because I think to be the fastest for European company to come. And another thing that is for Kubota and Yanmar, they have their own financing. This is another big issue for the European to come, is the financing. I think Kubota, they sell around 50 to 1,000 million baht per year. So what do you think about the finance of the Kubota and Yanmar? I understand that maybe you can come and you can use the BOI from each country to get the privilege or that stuff, but you need to think about the finance also.
But perhaps back to question to Michael Ritter. You also have in Europe some models for financial services. In that case, is this a possibility also to reach it here, or there are some borders which is not so easy for you?
Yeah, firstly, for the producers already difficult to go to another continent, yeah, then the banks will not follow you. Yeah? So I mean they follow, but under the local conditions. And I totally agree. Financing is one of the most important things, and usually European companies are not able to provide this. So that's why the companies are, investing a lot into this, trying to set up also, but. At the moment, they don't have the big market power. Yeah? That's why we see another solution, and you're talking about pricing, we see lots of used machinery coming in. Yeah? So where the price is lower and the clients have less need to finance. Yeah? We see this here in Thailand. We have most of our machines are used machineries coming in here. We see this from CNH tractors, yeah? also lots, and we see this also in other countries. The advantage is that the used machineries from Europe are quite, even if they have some ages, yeah, like 3, 4, 5 years or even more, they have usually less machine hours or engine hours. Yeah, because in Asia usually people like work much more and use it much more. Yeah, so this is the advantage, that the machines which are coming over are still good. So the producers learn more how to work in Southeast Asia. And I totally agree. Everybody of the German or European manufacturers has to be much better in financing. But again, with local banks, yeah, with local financial institutions, because they are used to the local conditions. And the question is, because the European banks usually which follow you to Asia, they don't like to work in the agricultural area because they think it's unstable area. Yeah, so they like to finance a factory from a car producer or something. what they like. So you have to work with the local financing institutions.
Yeah, perhaps a question to everybody in this group is, okay, we talk about possible joint ventures with European manufacturers also in the focus today, but how can a trade fair like the AGRITECHNICA Asia here help to further expand the network to the industry and build a global cooperation? Perhaps, Tony, you can start. How is your feeling, and what is a wish from you perhaps for the future?
Yeah. Before I answer that, let me share this interesting action that our Department of Agriculture has been initiated through the Bureau of Agriculture, Fishery and Engineering, or BAFE. I'm a supplier, and I would always say or commit that I have an after-sales service. Wow, a European company sending machine to the Philippines, perhaps Dave or Michael here would think twice sending his technician to the Philippines because of the cost. What we are trying to do, or the government, is that they pre-identified cooperatives that has been using equipment to be trained to do the servicing within a certain perimeter areas. So with these different 7,000 islands, they are developing service centers so that we can provide immediate, especially for the menial or PMS activities only. So immediately we come to the customers and address the concerns. Now, going back to your answer, thank you. How can we intensify the cooperation? Well, I think try to move around the AGRITECHNICA. This time Thailand, next time Vietnam, next time the Philippines, or move around the ASEAN countries. Perhaps that would do good. You will see around the country what we have been doing, and you get to know people around, those people that would be interested to work with you. So I think that would be a good idea. Thank you.
And the question to the next one, to Mr. Janapol, perhaps it's the same question. The AGRITECHNICA, what do you have for feeling? Where is the advantage at the moment, and or do we have a wish for the future which we can intensify in that way? Perhaps you can give a review from your side.
About AGRITECHNICA,
yeah,
I think it's a good opportunity for Thailand to see more advanced technology from European or from Germany. But to be frankly speaking, I think the location is not. It's not in Bangkok. It has to be in the north of Thailand or in the east of Thailand, where the farmer can come to see. Okay, let's say for the foreigner to come is easy, right? But to be showing the technology or that stuff from the European, maybe you need to go to the big city in the north or that stuff. And to be AGRITECHNICA to be the bridge between Thailand and Germany, I think it is the way that Thai people can get the technology from the Europe. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Perhaps a good thought. We have to follow up, definitely. And what do you think about the second step is at first to see the machinery, but the second step is also to develop the network at the moment. I'm the first time in this region, and I'm very happy to get such a network and discuss in this round. And I'm also very happy that we recorded everything on a video, and we can share it after this to a lot of people, which are at the moment in the hall and talking to the exhibitionists. And for me, it's a very, very important fact that we can build up a network and perhaps try to solve such of problems or such of issues together. And if we discuss these issues, we can find perhaps a new way to develop or improve the next time, how we can make it perhaps a little bit better and a little bit more optimization. I'm an economist. That's my whole business every day, looking at the processes and try to improve your thinking and try to improve your business. And that's why, thank you very much for the advice.
That's why I'm bringing my group to have a meeting tomorrow. My group of the agriculture machinery, we're having a meeting tomorrow about 40%, and that's why I want to bring them to have to talk and to see the network and to see the opportunity, how to get along with the exporter, something like that.
Perhaps same question to Henri Sheng. What is your feeling about AGRITECHNICA, and what is your feeling about creating the new network and to get in contact with a lot of important people?
Yeah, exhibition like AGRITECHNICA is very good for networking because normally for those that in the industry, we only contact by email or the most by phone. So physical meeting is, especially in these 2 years, is very limited. Yeah, exhibition like this is good for both parties to understand their condition. Like in Europe, the farmers in Europe, sometimes the government asks them not to plant anything in their land, and they get subsidized for that. This is a total new concept in ASEAN. So they are not, yeah, this is true in Europe, but the condition is very different in Asian where all our farmers are not graduated from the universities. As I know that Europeans farmers, they need to be certified because before they can become a farmers. But in Asians, most of the farmers are low educated, maybe drops out from high schools, etc. So there are total 2 different worlds. And also good for the European manufacturers to come here and understand us. And for local partnerships, the most important thing is a trust. But trust cannot develop in one day. So by having these exhibitions, we can know each other more, having more trust, and later on we can have partnerships or what, which is great. Yeah. Thank you.
I have to thank you. And perhaps the other bows, what's the perspective from Vietnam and Indonesia to the AGRITECHNICA and also to building up the network?
You know that in fact I'm not specialist on the machinery, but you know that with the new policy of mechanization in agricultural sector and forestry sector, I think now is time for European country to introduce the new technology and also the equipment to this region. You know that as our friend has mentioned that Japan has introduced the system into South Asia for quite a long time, and they have a more advanced in the field of rice production. You know that? Because you know that Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia is some bigger country where they have a paddy field. And the Kubota is dominant in this field already. And so now you see that Indonesia, Malaysia, and Vietnam, we have also a lot of land that we can grow the other crop. So it's under that condition, it's more or less the same like European in some highland area. So we can use the advance from the equipment from EU and just how can modify for meet with the condition of the Southeast Asia countries. So you can succeed in the future, and maybe and nowadays in Vietnam we also introduce a new model of cooperative. It's when we go follow the system like I have seen from Germany. That's a group of farmers, and they work the land together, and even they hire the technical people to observe all the crop pattern, pest and disease, and by merging the land together, so they have more capital to deposit in the bank and loan for buying equipment to match with the production scheme. So I think that you not only in AGRITECHNICA Asia, next time when you organize in Vietnam, especially Rice Research Institute of Mekong Delta, some sort of equipment in the field will be a good, nice picture for the farmer and for the company to see how the European machine will work under the condition of tropical country like Vietnam and also like some Southeast Asian country. I think that's a good sample for us. And we do hope that this will, again, from experience that we have from the AGRITECHNICA in Bangkok. So next time we'll organize in the main rice production area of Vietnam. And that will be, we'll invite a lot of association, farmer association, and some companies as the big producer and exporter, so they can witness us the effectiveness of the equipment from German and European countries, so that would convince them in the future to follow that system. So that's my thinking.
All right, thank you. The way I see this AGRITECHNICA Asia, even before this panel discussion happened, I already met some friend like Mark sitting down there. He's automotive aftermarket. Why is he sitting here? From automotive aftermarket industry, they plan to maybe to extend to agricultural manufacturing parts. This is where we got to meet a lot of people in this room. And we got friends from India as well, who just approached me just now. Hello. They got a very interesting question, how they can prolong the chili crop, the production of chili crop in Indonesia. Because a lot of problem in Indonesia, like after you produce the chili, you don't know how to preserve the chili. They provide the solutions. So in this panel discussion and this seminar, we can meet a lot of friends from other countries, from Thailand, from the region. This is where we start the network. We start today. When we harvest, maybe in the future, but it's a good start. So let us continue with this AGRITECHNICA Asia. Every year, we can meet up together, we can extend our network, we can exchange information, and hopefully we can become partners. That's my point of view. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. You focus the word network, and this is also possible after this panel discussion in the backwards or here so in the hall or next to the exhibition today and also tomorrow, because unfortunately the time has passed. We are a little bit over the time, but it was important that we can discuss a little bit more about the topics. And following of this discussion, it's possible to get in contact and also to get in contact with the audience. But before I want to end this session, it's for me a heartfelt thank you for everybody here discussing with us and presented also the country reports to show what are the needs. We can see there are several, especially also different needs in special markets. We are at the beginning, but I'm sure we can reach a development, and we can, as you said, we have to start, and the first step sometimes is quite hard, but the second and the third, it will help very much. I would like to give you a small present here on stage, and also I would like to give the present to, there is a Kitio Pass. I have ordered some medals. I would, perhaps you can bring me the medals onto the stage. Yeah, this one. And I also would like to please, there is Kitio Pass back to the stage. And this is a porcelain medal of the German Agricultural Society with the head of the founder of the Agricultural Society. It's Max Eid from 1885. He founded our society, and I really, really want to say thank you for your effort and also for your information today at this Asian Pacific Trading Summit. Thank you very much for opening the session. very much for Now it works. I want also thank you for the audience to pay the attention here to us, and I would like to inform we filmed everything of the whole session, and we will connect it to every channel of the DLG and also of AGRITECHNICA. Also, it will be possible to look at DLG Connect or something else so that we can use this information to get in contact and improve our whole business. Thank you very much for joining this session.